Jenn is here. Welcome to Playing the Field, the Bachelor podcast. I'm Ryan Field, the sports anchor here at Eyewitness News in New York. Huge Bachelor fan, and if you've been following along, you know who's here with us. Jenn Matarese, our Bachelor insider here at WABC in New York City, as well as our Bachelor expert, Gina Sirico at KABC in Los Angeles. And we are thrilled to welcome our very special guest in this week's episode, Jenn Tran, who is down in Miami, joining us on her work break. She said, I'm gonna stop from saving lives. I'm gonna run on and be on Playing the Field. And Jenn, we can't thank you enough for being here.
Hi guys, thanks for having me. No, yeah, I'm on my lunch break. No one's dying. No one's life is in my hands. But no, I'm happy to be here. Thanks so much for inviting me on.
Well, you certainly had a lot of hearts racing during the Women's Tell All and being on the hot seat and kind of giving your take. I guess I just want to ask you right from the jump, what happened in your opinion? Because when we saw everything, it was going great. You had the beach date. You told Joey you were falling for him. Joey said he was over the moon, that you were feeling that way. What do you think happened?
That's a tough question. I don't know. Maybe he really sat and thought about my surfing skills, and he probably was like, you know what, this girl's not for me because she's belly flopping in the ocean. Like, what's going on here? It's funny because I remember that day so differently, and then watching it back, I was like, I can't surf. I went home, I was telling all my friends, I was like, I got up on there, like I'm a pro surfer, I'm a natural. And then watching back the footage, I was like, who is that girl? Because that's on me. But no, I don't know. I think at the end of the day, you know, he probably just had stronger connections with other women, and that's natural. And I think, you know, he did make the right decision, and he just wasn't my person, and that's okay. You know, you got to date around to find your match, and we just weren't a perfect match.
In your opinion, did you feel like you were a perfect match on your end, or did you ever feel like something was maybe a little off, or did you get that vibe from him at all ever?
Jeez, I don't know. I think when you're in it, anytime you're in a relationship, I think you always just have rose-colored glasses on. And I think for me, I have that to the extreme always. So I definitely always felt like with him, I was like, oh, this feels so good. And I mean, looking back now, there's always things where you can be like, well, maybe this could change, or I don't know. So I think at the time, I definitely was very much in it, and I very much did see myself with him. But coming out of it, I definitely understand the decision that he made, and I now think that he's the right decision because, you know, there are things that maybe didn't know that I wanted, and I don't know, you know.
Gotcha. You learned a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I think with every relationship, you learn so much, and you learn the things that you don't like about somebody, the things that you do like about somebody, and there are now things that he provided for me, like this feeling of safety and comfort, that I'm like, okay, wait, this is what I want to really in a relationship now, because I think in previous relationships I've always liked the traumatic and the tumultuous fighting and breaking up and all that stuff, and now I'm like, wait, that's not healthy.
Jenn, what was your favorite thing about Joey?
My favorite thing about Joey, he was just always so supportive.
How you feeling?
I've been better.
Okay. You want to talk a little bit more about that?
He never wanted to fight me on anything. Like, he really listened to my opinions about things. He really went along with like my jokes and my sarcasm, and like he was just so easygoing. And I think that's what I loved about him the most, was how go with the flow that he was, you know.
And you had one of the best lines of the season when you had the fireworks show, and it said, "Will you?" And you said, "Marry me." It's a little too soon for that. And maybe the other best line, "I just want to get naked in the woods." What was the
yeah.
What was that? "I just want to get naked and
I just want to get naked and cuddle in the woods."
There you go. I mean, what's wrong with that?
What is wrong with that? I don't know. A lot of people are like, "Jenn, are you okay?" And I'm like, yes, I'm fine. That's perfectly normal to think. Does not everybody think that?
From a guy's perspective, let me tell you, it's totally normal, Jenn. So don't let anybody tell you anything differently. But looking back at go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, you know, sometimes I surprise myself with the things that come out of my mouth.
Well, we were maybe a little surprised looking back at the Women's Tell All. When Joey came out, there was a lot of smiles, and it felt like you were still kind of going through some emotions there when you saw him for the first time. Was that kind of evident to you watching it back? You're all smiles now looking at it, but I was watching you because I knew we were going to have you on the podcast, and it seemed like you were still kind of going through a little bit of a heartbreak in this entire situation.
Listen, okay? It wasn't the fact that he came out and I saw him again for the first time. It was the fact that they're playing a video montage of me and my ex, essentially, and then all the vulnerable things that I told him. And that's not normal. Who's doing that? Like, are you watching a video montage of your exes? So, I mean, it was emotional. It was overwhelming. It was a lot to like watch back and see myself in such a fragile state of like being vulnerable with him and seeing all the good times that we had together and then the breakup. And I think like just seeing someone like that in front of your face just brings you right back to that place, you know. And it wasn't necessarily that like I'm still heartbroken or anything. Like I said, he made the right decision and I'm so happy now. But I mean, I had real feelings for him. So seeing all those like good times that we had and stuff, like I'm an emotional girl. When I share such special moments with somebody, it's sad to not have them a part of your life anymore, you know? I don't know if that makes any sense.
I think it does. I mean, did you feel like, is it harder to get over it with nothing bad having happened in your relationship? Like everything was going fine and then all of a sudden, boom, it's done. I mean, what went through your head when he didn't say your name and you realized, I'm not going to get to bring him home?
You know, I really had a gut feeling that week. I think not getting the one-on-one that week, I was like, I don't know if his heart is in it as much as mine is. So I really just mentally prepared myself for that rose ceremony. And I was thinking worst case scenario. So I wasn't too shocked about it. And I think, what was the question?
Does it make it tougher that there was really nothing wrong between the two of you?
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like it was. I mean, you had this great date. I mean, there was no animosity, there was no fighting, and then all of a sudden it just wasn't it. Does that make it tougher to get over it?
No, honestly, surprisingly not, because I think like if you get in a fight about something, it's like, oh, did I do something wrong? And then you're stuck on the fact that you did something wrong. But I think because none of the parties did anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. He didn't do anything wrong. It was the fact that at the end of the day, he just felt like I wasn't a match for him was really closure in and of itself. Like, I think people have that free will to just be like, you know what, that's not my person. And that's okay when you feel like something's not a fit. And I really, I think that was the best closure for me. Like, I want someone who thinks that I'm their perfect person and is going to give 110% reciprocation and their effort, you know? And so I think him just being like, no, this isn't for me, was like, okay, that's fine. I'll find someone who thinks I am it for them, you know?
Absolutely.
I think you absolutely will find somebody. I have to ask, you talked about your family, and I guess even in that episode prior to Hometowns, you were talking about how it may not go as well as possible just because of the cultural differences and all that. You talked about your mom. And then at Women Tell All, you talked about your relationship with your mom being a lot better now and her seeing you as a full adult, now. When she was watching it with you, or did you watch it with her? And what did she think of Joey? What did she think of your relationship and how that kind of went, played out?
Yeah, so she lives in Boston and I live in Miami, so we haven't gotten the opportunity to watch the show back together, but she does call me after every episode with a lot of opinions. And no, she really did like him, and I think most of my insecurities from that week in Jasper of like almost introducing him to my family was more like the comparison value of it, of like him comparing my family to like Daisy's family to like Kelsey's family, like, et cetera, whatever. But I think that at the end of the day, my family would have loved him no matter what. My family is very, very inviting. They're very inclusive. And I think my mom in general just wants me to be happy. And I think that she would allow anybody into our family as long as they treated me right. And she could tell what a nice guy Joey was and how well he treated me. And she could tell how safe I felt in sharing all the things that I did. And I think when I came home from the show, she was just more concerned about whether or not I was okay. So yeah, I mean, I think her watching the show back, she's had this like whole new perception of me kind of just being my own person now. And it's been been life-changing for our relationship. It's gotten us a lot closer.
I love that.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And obviously one of the neater moments that we don't see with the show, but the things that happen afterwards. And we would have loved to have seen Joey meet your family. I think we can all agree on that. One of my favorite moments was when you came up and kissed him in the middle of his interview. I thought that was hey, you go get your man, girl. I thought that was a great moment of that. But I wonder, looking back and watching back the show with the rest of us, any regrets, anything you would have done differently, anything you think, man, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I wouldn't have done this?
I really don't. And that's the one question I can confidently answer 100% that I don't wish I did anything differently, because I was just so myself on the show, and like I really just put 100% into it. Like I was vulnerable the way I wanted to be, and I was just goofy the way I wanted to cuddle in the woods. Like, you know, like I was just so myself, and that was why the closure of like our relationship not working out was even quicker for me, because I was like, you know what, I gave it my all. I wasn't a different person. I didn't put on an act. I was so comfortable with who I am. And I think it comes too with like the time of my life that I'm in right now. You know, I'm 26 and I feel like I'm really coming into my own. And so I have this confidence in who I am, that if something doesn't work out, you know, that's okay. At least I was myself.
Mm-hmm. And Ryan mentioned the bold move of going in for that kiss, and also you pulled him aside, played piano with him.
And how about the go-kart scene at the beginning when you first met him the first night? That was awesome too.
Yeah, and you know, you did those things, and yet you really didn't become a target of the other women. You weren't dragged into the depths of the drama. How did you avoid that?
I don't know. I don't. Were these things on my back? I don't know. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, we all just knew like we're like this is such a new situation. You know, like no one's dating in real life. No one's dating someone who has like 13 other girlfriends. Okay, and so I treated it as like he and I were the only people dating, so I kind of forgot about the other girls half the time, and I was like, I'm gonna do whatever I want with my boyfriend and try not to step on anybody's toes. And if anybody's upset, like, how can you be upset? I'm just hanging out with my boyfriend. So I don't know. I also had a really good friendship with a lot of the ladies on the show, you know. And I tried to keep the peace. I'm really a peacemaker. I don't like to get into drama. And I just like to keep people happy.
You're in the medical field, Jen. You're an empath. This is one of those things when Jen and I met. So just so you guys know, Jen and I met when they did the paintball. I had to think about it. We met at the paintball date, and we talked about it then, how so much of, you know, Jen's and Joey's values kind of aligned, which I thought was amazing. I love, Jen, that you were talking about your friendships with the other ladies, and I want, you know, some of the moments in Women Tell All that we love is, you know, are the bloopers and just those behind the scenes moments. Is there a moment, or is there, you know, something that happened in the mansion that we didn't see that, you know, you look back on fondly, like some, you know, just some funny moment with the ladies?
So freaking many, and if I told you them all, we'd stay here all day. But off the top of my head, there was a moment where Maria and I were talking about knocking on wood, and we were debating whether, like, it was funny because I really wanted to know what the people thought. So we were knocking on wood, trying to figure out, like, when do you actually knock on wood? And in my perception, I knock on wood when I don't want to jinx anything. So like, if I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to get a rose tonight, I'm going to knock on wood. Or like, if I said like, but like, it also like translates to like bad things too. Like if I say like, I don't want to get into a car accident, or like, I might get into a car accident tonight, I'm going to knock on wood because I don't want that to happen. But like, I know that's confusing, but Maria was disagreeing with me, where she was like, I'm not knocking on wood about good things, I'm only knocking on wood about bad things. And it was a whole debate that we had for like at least half an hour.
And listen, you bring up Maria. A lot of people think she's going to be the next Bachelorette. Some people want you to be the next Bachelorette. Would you want to be the Bachelorette if that opportunity had presented itself? And if not you, who would you like to see as the next Bachelorette?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think the opportunity would be amazing, and it's definitely something I would for sure consider. But you know, I am in school, and my schedule is so crazy busy. But hey, a chance to date 32 men and find the love of my life, I would absolutely take that. Are you kidding me? Every girl's dream. But if it wasn't me, honestly, I think Maria would make a great bachelorette. You know, she really truly deserves to find her person, and I think she was deprived of somewhat of a shot on this season just because she got into so much drama.
Maria, she is clearly the problem. I didn't refer to you as a bully. I said I felt bullied, which I think I'm valid to. You referred to me as a bully? I did not call you a bully. I said I felt bullied. By me? I did not actually say your name. Let me just say, like, bully is a big word. I also felt bullied as well. Please, just you, I don't want to hear from, no offense, because you started this, right? You admitted to that. Let's move on. You started it.
But you know, I do think she deserves it, and I think she'd be so fun to watch. You know, she's one of my good friends, and she's just such a good time.
So you'd consider The Bachelorette, but what about Bachelor in Paradise? That's a completely different beast. You're on the beach, and if you were to say yes to something like that, have you watched past seasons, and who would you want to meet? Who would you hope would stroll down the beach?
I have no idea. I maybe have watched one season of Bachelor, and it was Matt James's season.
Oh.
And I don't think there are men from that season. So, I don't know. I really don't know a lot of people in Bachelor Nation, and I'm not sure I would consider the beach with my busy schedule. But
Okay.
who knows? Who knows? If somebody told me, hey, this really hot man is going to the beach and he wants to meet you, maybe I would consider it. Yeah.
So it's not ruled out.
She's leaving
I
the
would
door
never rule
open.
anything out.
It's cracked open a bit.
Hey, hopefully by the time that opportunity even comes around, like I'm hoping to be in a relationship. You know, I'm very ready for it, and so everyone's asking me about Bachelorette and the Bachelor in Paradise, and I'm like, listen, like, can I just like meet somebody right now? That would be ideal.
A nice doctor, perhaps.
No.
No, is that not the way to go?
Sports anchor, maybe?
They work so much. Listen, I want someone to stay home and take care of the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Ryan has a pretty regular schedule here.
I work the night shift. I don't know. It depends if she's doing the night rounds at the hospital.
It could work out.
We could find a way to make that happen. Listen, I'm getting totally set up here by these two.
Throwing him under the bus.
Yeah,
Sorry,
absolutely.
Ryan.
It's all good.
No, I did not do that. It was Jen.
It was me.
Wait, which Jen?
Jen across from Jen.
Hey, before we let you go, listen, no spoilers, but we're down to the final two. Handicap this race for us between Kelsey and Daisy. How do you see this thing playing out? What are the pros of both of them in terms of their connections with Joey and what you've seen both in person and watching the show back? No spoilers.
I know nothing. I really know nothing. I love both these lovely ladies so much. I think Daisy is such a sweet heart. She's really, really such a sweet soul. I think Kelsey's freaking hilarious. She honestly made me laugh so much during the show. And so, I don't know. I think Joey's pretty funny as well. I could see Joey and Kelsey, but I could also see Joey and Daisy because they're both just so sweet and such nice people. He has a tough decision to make, and I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know who. If I were him, I would just pick both of them.
Now that would be a Bachelor first.
That would be something we have never seen before.
That's right. They did promise
that.
that.
Something that's never happened before. Who knows? He could be engaged to two girls.
Do you have any guesses on what that one thing is? Not to put you on the spot.
I don't. I saw after the woman told, I saw the little preview of the finale, and I'm scared. I honestly have no idea.
It's so funny. Well,
no,
if she doesn't know, then we don't know.
I kind of feel like something funny that could happen is like, because they keep saying, something that has never happened before. Like, I could see Kelsey getting down on one knee and proposing to Joey.
Whoa, that would be something.
Tables turned.
Well, that'll give us something. That'll give us something to look forward to, and we're all going to find out together. And we know you got to get back to work, and we can't thank you enough for taking some time out and providing some insight and sharing your story with us. And I was pulling for you. I'll be front and center about that. I thought you definitely should have been.
It's
one of
true.
The final.
He was.
Yeah, I've been saying that on this podcast over and over again. So to have you on the show means a lot, and we can't thank you enough for taking some time out. And enjoy the finale, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much. Yeah, hopefully we get to chat again soon. If you guys are ever in Miami, come down for a drink. I would love to hang out with you guys.
Absolutely.
I still have a lot of friends in Miami, so I'm going to come and we're going to do that. And then we'll FaceTime these guys.
We could go on location, podcast on location.
I'm down. Let's do it. Miami, here we come.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Jenn, thanks so much for being here. Yeah, thanks for doing this. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Talk to you guys soon.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Jenn Tran, everybody, a fan favorite on The Bachelor, and it was great for her to join us here on the show. And I thought she was everything you thought she would be, everything she was on the show. I thought she was genuine. I thought very likable, and you can see why Joey kept her as long as he did. And frankly, I'm still surprised he sent her home. I think that's my sentiment, especially after hearing her talk right now.
And I thought, I never got to say, I think a lot of America was shocked.
Yeah.
They were shocked that she didn't make that top 4. Like, she was picked out as like a top 4 contestant.
The only one who wasn't surprised is Gina. Team Rachel. I think that's the only thing we can say.
Should we have told her that? We could have thrown Gina under the bus.
We absolutely should have. You guys are too busy
I
throwing
feel
me
the
under the
tire
bus.
tracks, is all I'm saying. You'll see them on my back very soon. No,
you two were taking turns driving the bus over me. So
excuse
put
me, that was
blast.
not me.
we just want the
We're
best
trying
for
to
you.
help you.
Listen, if something were to ever happen and Jenn and I were to go out and have drinks in Miami, I may or may not give the exclusive interview to Playing the Field. I may or may not bring
That would be
up.
so great. That
We'll
would be
see.
so great. Or you could be the next Bachelor. I'm
Hey,
putting
that
that
could
out in the
happen, too.
universe too. Why not?
That could happen too. Gina, thoughts?
Do it. No, hey, you as the next Bachelor, make it happen.
Why not? Let's do it.
Make it happen.
Well, how about your final thoughts on what we heard from Jenn today and what this means now for the finale, what she said, and all that thing as we kind of digest everything that she just told us.
I mean, she told us nothing that we didn't already know about the finale, which of course, we're all dying to find out and see what this thing that's never been done before is.
Today I woke up and I truthfully felt the weight of all of this. This is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, and I'm still afraid that this might not work out. I didn't expect it to go that way.
Hopefully it isn't something like the Kelsey note where, it
I think we
ended
can
up
all
being a
agree
whole
on
lot
that.
of nothing.
Yeah.
That's my fear. But I do think, look, Jenn is just a sweetheart. I think we noticed that from day one. I've spoken to her twice now in person, and the light just like radiates from her. She's lovely. And I think that she definitely deserves to find her person. And if we get to see that journey, great. And if we don't, I hope that she has like a lovely life in Miami or wherever she chooses. She's lovely.
I have a feeling she's going to be just fine if I'm
Yes,
looking
I
at
think
this
she's
from
gonna
an
be just fine,
outsider's
exactly.
perspective. I think she's going to be okay. But listen, we're looking forward to the finale. It's come down to Kelsey and Daisy. I'll go ahead and make the first pick. I think it's going to be Kelsey. Jenn?
Kelsey.
Gina?
Yeah, I think
Kelsey?
it's going to be Kelsey.
Is there any way, and let me throw this out to you two. You two are much more dialed in than I am. I just watch passively. I like to be kind of in the loop a little bit, but you two are very much in the loop in all of this. Is there any chance he doesn't pick either one?
Only if
No.
he gets in his own head, I think. If there's some kind of weird self-doubt,
Which
and he
we've seen.
Yeah, and he's like, maybe I'm not ready for this. If he gets like a weird switch, but I think he is ready. I think he's gonna. I hope he picks somebody that picks him back, and their happily ever after is there.
I don't think that he doesn't pick someone. I do feel like he, and maybe it's something that's been in our face the whole time. Like
Yeah.
we just kind of, I think that he knows what he wants. He knows who he wants. And I think that's going to be really interesting to see play out. I am just, the picture that keeps coming back into my mind is after the overnight date and Kelsey and Joey making breakfast together. And it was the most natural feeling moment and scene that I think I've ever seen on The Bachelor.
Because people were actually eating food?
Right. I'm sorry, what?
Because people were actually eating food on the show?
Well, also that.
Yeah.
Besides the macaroons from the Women Tell All.
Oh, we did. That was a good point, too.
But it just felt so natural and so like, this is what a couple in love does. It's how they act, you know, them making fun of each other, her, you know, all of it. And that's what I keep going back to as my reference of like, yeah, I think it's going to be Kelsey in the end. That cemented it. That scene cemented it for me.
I like Daisy a lot. I really do. I just think he's had to nudge her quite a bit to get her to the point to where she could express her feelings. And I think it came a bit easier for Kelsey. So I don't know. I think if I were Joey, I wouldn't want to have to like convince her to fall in love with me so hard.
I agree. You know what I'm really looking forward to the most in this final episode? That we don't have Jesse coming out and saying, "This is the final rose tonight."
Maybe he'll do it.
I think Jesse's happy about that too.
Yeah, even in Tulum he came out and said it. There was only 2 to start with.
I know. That was a little
Dang
painful.
it, Jesse.
That was a little painful to see.
Unbelievable.
Even though we knew it was coming.
I know it's the show, but come on.
It's tradition.
It had to happen.
It had to
happen one last time.
You know what? If it didn't happen, everybody would be talking about it.
It's a problem if it doesn't.
It's a problem if it doesn't. What happened to Jesse would be the talk of the show for sure. Well, listen, we're excited to watch it the same way all of you are. We can't wait to talk about it. We're going to have Joey on the podcast, and hopefully the woman he picks. Right back here on Playing the Field. So that's coming up. We just had Jenn on today, so all kind of good things happening. We are looking forward to having plenty more content from all 3 of us here in the future, but still to come. On Tuesday, we're going to have Joey, and hopefully the woman he picks, we'll see if it's Kelsey or Daisy. Maybe Jenn comes back and he picks Jenn. Wouldn't that be the ultimate plot twist? Jenn was playing possum with us the whole time.
That would be a serious plot twist.
Yeah, that would be a serious.
I would like that.
Yeah, look at Jenn. Jenn's
or
like,
Maria.
Or Maria comes back and is the big winner. Oh, my Lord. Well, here, like I said, we're all going to find out together. Thanks so much for being with us on this edition of Playing the Field. For Gina and Jenn, I'm Ryan. We'll see you back here with The Bachelor himself.